Yo, what's going on, guys? Tony here, coming at you with another For Honor video, bringing back kind of an old series that I used to do, which was Kensei matchup guides. And reason I kind of stopped doing them was that most people really know how to play them, and people would just ask me if they had any questions. And I had other videos that I wanted to make with new content and everything, but we're coming back with the new characters, the Highlander and the Gladiator. Well, not so new anymore. I've been out for about a month, but I figured I would make some guides, kind of know that I have a good understanding of both characters. And how their attacks, what people tend to go to when playing as them. So hopefully I can make this clear and concise for you guys, and you'll be able to pick up a thing or two against facing these guys. So just as a precursor, if you guys aren't familiar, the Gladiator does have two modes. This is the defensive mode, which allows him to block, guard, break, parry, and then he has an offensive mode, which is when he says done my glass, and it's exclusive to unblockable attacks. So he can do an unblockable kick, he can do an unblockable grab. He can do this little taunt in unblockable, which, I mean, I guess it's to scare you. He has unblockable quick lights, and then he also has just a normal unblockable heavy like that. So he can cycle between both defense and offensive modes and try to play some mind games with you, and that's something that we'll get to a little bit later. But we'll start off right off the rip of the game. So we're going in, you're just playing a Highlander, the game just starts. You'll most likely find someone who goes in and does this move, tries to go for an opener, get some quick damage on you, and it's honestly, you know, pretty deceptive. You can really delay the startup of the side heavy, so it looks I'm going top right there, but then I just delay it over there, and you can get people who are too anxious to parry, making kind of dumb plays right there. But even more so with the first initial attack, people don't respect the follow-up attack, which if they go in, like, say, a side heavy into a top heavy, that'll do a crap ton of damage because the top heavy on Highlander is very, very powerful. You see, if I go in here, that does about half of that PK's health, and 2/3 of that was from that top heavy. So you really do need to respect the follow-up attack as well. If you're not comfortable with the timing or reactions, I would just suggest blocking it. Now, you can also not just do the two attacks. So if I did the first attack, I could leave my finger on the heavy button and then go into unblockable mode and try to go that way as well. So if you see that somebody is going in and then they go in for, you know, not the second attack, and they're just kind of keeping their guy on there, you'll see a little bit of a glow to the character, and that's when you know that you should just throw out an attack really quickly, because that's the easiest way to counter a I almost said Gladiator, a Highlander in offensive mode. A lot of people aren't quick enough to cancel their offensive mode and then parry, because you do have to hit the B button, so I'd have to B and then parry. So that's something not a lot of people do. So if you're able to get a quick attack off while they're in that mode, that's the best thing. Whenever I am playing, I always go super aggro as soon as I hear done my glass, really, because I feel like somebody's trying to do some sort of mix-up on me. In addition to offensive mode, just things to be wary for. If you get a kickoff, you get a basically one of those free unblockable heavies off. There's kind of a glitch right now where the assassins can parry it, but they said they're not supposed to. But you can also feint abilities in here in the offensive mode by inputting other ones, like I mentioned in my guide. So one thing that a lot of people do is they'll feint the kick into the grab, so it looks something like this. And that's basically due from inputting the kick and then inputting the grab immediately after. And it can catch people a lot who dash backwards, because it will track the crap out of you. So even if you dash too early, you can still get tracked pretty easily. So you need to kind of dash and do an attack at one point, and sometimes you even get grabbed out of that. I'm not 100% sure actually how, like, the grab works, as far as, like, where you have to be in a dodge, when's too early to dodge, when's too late to dodge. It's kind of a weird timing ability, but a lot of people just will they'll kick you or they'll go for this move right here, and then they get the free unblockable after that as well. So those are the real main things you need to look out for on the Highlander. He doesn't have a huge fluidity when it comes to combos and stuff, so it feels like, you know, he can get a couple attacks off on you, but he's not going to be getting extended combos on, you know, something like, you know, how Kensei does. You know, you can do a bunch of unblockable mix-ups and keep that combo chain going, but for Highlander it feels pretty bad. You won't find a lot of people actually parrying attacks because then they'll go for a guard break. You have to go for a zone, and then you have to cancel that zone after the first attack because it's going to get bad. So let's just say I parried someone. That's going to take a little bit of stamina. So I go in here, cancel that. Already 3/4 of my stamina gone just for a heavy parry punish, which is ridiculous. On the light parry, they can get the kickoff on you and then get the unblockable attack, but you won't find a lot of Highlanders actually doing this. So they're going to be doing the crushing counter, which is from the light attacks. Now, in order to counteract this, what I found just to be really successful is, since you can't feint light attacks, obviously, is feint your heavy attacks, as Kensei. That's something that Kensei is already really good at. You feint attacks out, you see a light attack come through, you parry that. They're not super fast, so you can get good parries off on them, and then you get your side heavy, or get your GB off on them and go to instant mix-ups after that. The Highlander is a very complex character. They are kind of strong, but not really strong, and if you can play against them correctly, you shouldn't have a very difficult time. Sometimes if a Highlander is playing kind of defensively, you need to just kind of play even more defensively, because there's no sense trying to keep attacking if they keep on crushing countering you. Wait for them to maybe go into offensive mode or go for the jump attack and maybe go for a parry. You really need to be patient with them, but as soon as you see the offensive mode, you need to go aggro. So you can think about it, when he's in offense, you're offensive. When he's in defense, you're defensive. So that's what I kind of like to think of with Kensei. And yeah, I just play basically a reactionary game against him. So I'll go into a bot match against the Highlander to try to show some of the things that I'm mentioning. I know it's not going to be exactly how a player plays online, but hopefully I can get some good stuff for you guys and you can at least understand what I'm looking for you guys to do. Alright guys, coming into this round, just saying the first tip kind of combined is to wait for the Highlander to engage first, and then also look for those parries. Now this is going to be in addition to his heavies. Now his heavies come through very slow, so you need to be able to react to different changes in them, as well as feints, because he feints slowly, so sometimes you can counter that with a guard break if you find that your opponent is feinting a lot. So don't necessarily go through with parries until you're pretty sure they're confirmed. Like if you see them dash forward, at least you know that they are attacking, because they cannot feint that first initial attack. They can either just go to a different direction. Now that's one of the main things that we need to look for, is just the initiation first, and then just make sure you're being able to parry those attacks. Get the timings right. Even just go into a bot practice game like this, and you'll be able to get the timings right of the parries on those heavy attacks eventually. Okay, so another tip, obviously going in, how I mentioned before, is when he's in offensive mode, make sure you're doing those attacks right on him, so he's able to disrupt him, since he can't do his parry or blocking in that. So in addition to this though, however, it's kind of odd with the Highlander. Once he's in there, we're going for the attacks. When he's holding his sword in that stance, you just gotta go for those attacks. It works about 90% of the time. If it's a really good Highlander, you're gonna have some trouble. But another thing, also not necessarily discussed, is in your unblockable at the startup, he can cancel it pretty quickly with a light attack. So let's say we go in, we just wait like that. Thank you, bot, for actually doing what I wanted you to do. So that made that a lot easier. They cancel it a lot with the light attack, and it'll ruin your animations a lot if you start up. So if you find that someone's doing this, either cancel it right away, or if you're going in, immediately go for one of the soft feints. So if I'm in, going like that, at least I can, possibly get an attack off after it. That's pretty much all that you really need to know to fight against the Highlander. He does have a smaller health pool, and he doesn't do as much damage as you would actually think. So just make sure you're baiting him out, let him make the first move at the beginning of the round, and then watch out in the offensive mode and during your unblockable animation. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope that you did enjoy. If you were able to learn some stuff, that's basically what I'm trying to do. If you weren't, then sorry, I guess I didn't do a good enough job. If you have any additional questions on the Highlander, please let me know in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as I can. He seems like a lot to take in, but he's honestly not as... He doesn't have an advanced moveset as you think. The way you can use this moveset is super complex, but other than that, you can actually read a lot of his stuff pretty well, unless I said like they're a top tier Highlander, which you honestly don't see too many of. More people are definitely playing Gladiator over Highlander, at least what I can see. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I appreciate the support, especially on yesterday's montage video. That was really nice to see. Glad you enjoyed that. As always, my name is Tony. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.